So I think it was near the beginning of summer when I heard that they were making a new Call of Duty Black Ops for the next Call of Duty game. This was before they assumed that it was going to be called Cold War, or if it was going to be called Black Ops 5. We still knew that it was, the name Cold War was there, and they were still deciding if they were going to make it Cold War or 5. They ended up going with Cold War, as you can tell. And honestly, when I first heard this, I was kind of happy, because all it meant to me was I get to save $60 for the next Call of Duty that I can spend another year. Honestly, after Black Ops 4, I thought that Treyarch was just going to go downhill. The creativity that they've had in zombies was gone. The creativity they had in anything, multiplayer, hell, they even removed the campaign because they couldn't even think of a good idea to make a campaign. So, yeah, I wasn't interested in getting the next Call of Duty. Also knowing that they were going to add battle passes since they added it in Modern Warfare, I thought that it gave even more reason to not buy another Call of Duty game, especially since microtransactions ruined them. And outfits costing $20, it was just too much. I didn't like it. Modern Warfare was a fairly good Call of Duty. I think it was one step to the right direction, but it still wasn't anything great. So I thought, you know what, not just play this one. This was the plan I was going for, and this was the plan I was going to stick with. And it was going to be good until the PlayStation 5 reveal came out. With that, they announced that they were going to be releasing Cold War for free alpha gameplay. I took the opportunity to say, hey, why not go and try out to see how terrible they would have ruined Call of Duty this year. And honestly, when I went to go and play the alpha, I was more than surprised with the gameplay that I was experiencing with. And that's how I got the idea to make this video. And in this video, we'll be talking about the alpha and beta review and see really if this is a good Call of Duty. Before I start the review, I want to explain that I'll be splitting up into 5 parts. The first part being the alpha, second and third being betas week 1 and week 2, and then we'll go on to compare what things it did better than Modern Warfare and what things it did worse than Modern Warfare. And after that, we will then leave it on a good conclusion to see if Cold War is just going to be another dumpster fire that we've been having for the last few years, or if we've actually made improvement with the Call of Duty series. Anyways, no better way to start this than with the alpha gameplay. Honestly, when playing the alpha gameplay, I was completely surprised on what I encountered. I thought it was going to be filled with lag, bugs, and unfair weapons, and the most dumbest kill streaks. They even said they were adding that new system, which I was, concerned for at first, but I obviously knew that was going to be a good idea, especially if they're going to be adding ground war back into this game. A skill streaks that doesn't encourage camping and actually playing the point, it sounds more fair. Anyways, going and playing, prepared to probably rage for the rest of my life, I came surprised. The weapons were fair. It lagged, not that much. The bugs, there were not that much. Actually, the only bugs I really encountered during the alpha gameplay was when I live streamed it. And my friend Chris, when he went to play it, he only encountered like 2 or 3. So, it doesn't lag that much. It barely had any bugs, and the weapons are more fair than any other Call of Duty. So this game's doing better in its alpha than Modern Warfare did in the last 11 months. Huh. Really makes you, think, right? Alright, well, jokes aside, well, no jokes. Please, Infinity Ward, fix your game. It's been out for 11 months. They've already made the next Call of Duty, and you still got OP things like the MP5 that's been OP since day one. Like, come on, please, just fix your game. Anyways, moving on to the Cold War gameplay. There wasn't that many weapons or kill streaks or anything, really. It was all simple. There's few weapons, few score streaks, anything for that matter of fact. Anyways, it was still fun. The only things that were really what you would consider overpowered in this game was the Spaz shotgun and the AK-4U, which even the AK-4U wasn't too bad. I was able to deal with it pretty easily. The Spaz, I could also deal with pretty easily. It just gave me a lesson to not be close to my enemies. And that's when I learned. Especially since, between corners there's such high spaces on the map, I felt that it was fair, and it was fine. And then, that was multiplayer. Honestly, all there was for this was hardpoint, team deathmatch, and kill confirmed. Which, basic game modes. They were all pretty fun except for hardpoint. Hardpoint was fine. I'll explain more hardpoint later in the video, but kill confirmed and team match were, well, what you expect. They were that. But they added a new game mode called Combined Arms, which was like Ground War, but only 12v12, not 30v32. I thought this was going to remove all the combat in the game. And yeah, I was scared that was going to happen. But honestly, to my surprise, that didn't happen. It was still fairly fun. There was still a lot of combat to be added. Still, the game mode was fun. It wasn't really anything special. It was still kind of slow and boring. But the amount of kill streaks and score streaks made it feel more alive. And the maps were very creative. So, I felt for an alpha, they did great. And, well, honestly, that's my review of the alpha. It was a 2.5 out of 2.5. The reason I said this is because it's only multiplayer gameplay, and that's only supposed to be 1/4 of the game, knowing that there's going to be Warzone, Campaign, and Zombies. So, yeah, let's go and move on to the beta. Now, honestly, the beta gameplay surprised me, because it was awful compared to the alpha. I lagged so much, and I dealt with so many more problems than I did with the alpha, and also with the whole leveling system they added, which, by the way, leveling up your player was fairly easy, fairly hard, so nothing to be concerned about. But weapon leveling system, it just, to grind just to use your favorite weapon to get the right attachments just to see how it was just not right. Especially knowing that it would all be resetted, just didn't feel fun. It removed all the whole customization part of what alpha had, and just made it work, which I know was just for the fact that they wanted to show you how the leveling system worked, which the weapons, sometimes it just felt like you would be spending an hour just to get one level, but sometimes it just felt like playing one game. It just didn't work out right. And remember how I said that we will talk about Hardpoint? Hardpoint was a fairly fun game mode in the alpha, but with this new beta, it had this spawning problem, especially on the cartel map. I didn't really get to play Hardpoint on the older maps in the beta. It was mainly on cartel, but I noticed that every time I played it, that the hardpoint would always spawn on one person's team or the other, so it just didn't feel fair. It was never who got to win was the better player, but simply the game got to choose who to play, because it would spawn one team on the hardpoint and yet spawn the other team off the hardpoint, and it just felt unfair. It was the spawning bullcrap that we dealt with in Modern Warfare, and I was kind of tired of it to have to deal with it again, and I was hoping we wouldn't, but obviously we did. And I also noticed with no one having high levels, people use the Spaz shotgun a lot more. As you can tell, right there, it was a mess, but it wasn't all negative. They did add the map Cartel, which was honestly very creative. It gave me the nostalgic of Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 maps, and it felt fairly fine. Map design wasn't that bad. It was really creative. It wasn't just 3-lane, but it wasn't just a cluster of just lines and just whatever it was. It was really creative, and it was a nice touch. And I thought, that was the right direction, but just the rest of the game just didn't do that great. Now, I will admit, Cold War did kind of redeem itself during the weekend with releasing VIP Escort, not Escort, but that's besides the point. And I want to tell you one thing about this game mode, and it is great. It was an extreme amount of fun. It was I had a fair good ratios of winning and losing, but I never had a problem. I wouldn't say it was my favorite game mode during the beta, but it was definitely up there, and I had a lot of fun playing it. And it was also a new idea, which was interesting, because Call of Duty making new ideas to sell their game is something we haven't seen in a while. So seeing this game mode was fairly fun. There was one problem with this game mode though, and it wasn't just this game mode, but all game modes, is that during the beta, which is also something I need to mention, should have mentioned the other part, but that the beta was filled with sweats, a lot of sweats. At first, in the alpha, everyone was having what games are meant to do, make you have fun. But in the beta, I think everyone just enjoyed the alpha and decided that, you know what, beta time, it's time to sweat and make everyone annoyed. That was something I didn't really like. Also with, things like lag and hit detection, dealing with sweats that are, could be better than you, but also dealing with bullcrap was just not what I was dealing with, and it was really bad. But, you know, I was really hoping that for week 2 that they would fix these things, which I will mention if they did or didn't. But that was just it.
We've taken the last 3 rounds.